Hey everybody, welcome back to Freedom Algo. Good to see everybody again, or at least hear everybody, or whatever you say. Wait for everyone to join here. Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody's having a great holiday season and end of the year. We are getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to give it a second for everyone to hop in before I start going through things. Alright. Take a sip of my tea here. You know the vibes. We got the giant mug. You can see here it's a little bit... This is actually a green tea chai. You can see in there. It's a green tea chai. Really good stuff. It's seasonal. Made by Smith Tea Maker, if anybody wants to check it out. Alright, let me see. Why is it not loading? Usually I can see who's in here, or how many people are in here, but for whatever reason it's taking forever to load. So if you're here, drop a hello in the chat. Drop a hello in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm going to, real quick, just make sure, I'm just going to make a note real quick in the school community to let everybody know that I'm currently live. Just making sure everyone knows. Okay. Weird. I don't know. The metrics are broken. Come on, man. Don't give me any of that end of the year shenanigans. I'm going to have to log into my YouTube dashboard real quick because it's all busted. So annoying when it does that. Give me 1 second. I'm just checking the control room just to make sure that it's not broken. Alright, it looks like it's starting to load. So I don't know why it was being weird, but it was not giving me my metrics, and I like to know what's going on. Make sure everything's working. Hey, Colin, good to have you here. Good to have you here. Hopefully your snowboarding season is good. Ours is pretty rough. We had a really slow start to the season. The mountain just opened last week, so I was able to go ride, but man, it's been a slow start to the season. Alright. So this is what it looks like. It's kind of a... I drew a range. Hey, Mugwort, good to have you. I wouldn't really call this exactly a range. It's sort of range-esque, but this is what we call a bearish imbalance. You can see that we're getting lower as we go. So the most likely situation is that we break through the bottom of this and continue lower if it doesn't rally soon. Because every rally has been weak, as you can see. This one was somewhat strong, but then the next one was weaker. You know, this one was pretty weak. Like, you can see we're getting lower overall. So... like if you draw a line just like this will kind of help you illustrate the point. Something like that. You can see it's getting lower overall. It's getting tight down here. Price action is slowing down quite a bit. So that's what we see. So we just got to be aware of that. I don't expect a lot of people to be on the stream today. It's kind of end of the year. A lot of people just aren't even around, taking time off. Alright, so what we have here in the overnight was a downtrend. Close outside, new low. This was kind of I drew this as a possible trend of its own as well. Then we had an uptrend, but there's not really any trade setups in here, unfortunately, because in the uptrend, you have a first entry short. You don't even get a second entry short till up here, and then this is your signal bar, so there's just no setup in there. As it broke down, you kind of have a double top here. So you can see here, there's a pullback. You could look at this like a lower high, but this is all equal to this low. It's kind of all inside. So this is really like a double top. So it's like a pullback. It's kind of like a first entry, second entry long here. But I don't think you're really looking to take a long there yet. You don't have a new low made on that down move. It's too steep. It's barely a close outside of this little channel. And this moved on me. I think actually... I think I originally had it like that, and I didn't really consider this a close outside. So you don't want to take a second entry here or anything. You need to wait and then it just goes lower. So no setups in there. And now you're in this down move, and you just get a first entry there. And then first entry, first entry. There's a second entry here, but it's too close to the lows, so you can't take it. And then just another first entry short, another second entry, but it makes a new low all in one. First entry. Then you get this move here. Now, at this point, this was a channel, close outside, and it made a few legs to new lows. Now, I drew this little flatter channel, and this kind of looks like an overshoot of that. So if you saw that, and you saw the bounce here from this low, and then this as like a triple test, you might take it. It's very risky. It's not a great setup. It's not one that I'm taking. I just don't think it's a very good setup. But hey, you know, if you took it, whatever. That's fine. So let's see. So then we cruise up and equal lows here. So you have a first entry short, second entry short, but I'm not taking this. You're in the middle of no man's land at this point. It's looking like a range. You just came off the lows. Don't go short here above this EMA. Not a good idea. And you can see it ends up not working anyway. This is the close outside new high, basically. It's just not a good setup. You're in no man's land. Wait to come back to a key area. You end up coming up here, reject, and then you get this low, this one. Could you take this as a triple test? A 1, 2, 3 triple test? Yeah, I mean, I guess. I don't even want to mark that. I just think it's too risky. It's looking like it might be a spike in channel. I don't think you want to take that, so I didn't mark it. It runs down, and now from here, you get a first entry, second entry short, and then a lower high after a second entry short, which is the better setup. I took this second entry short here. That's the only trade I took today, was this second entry short. I didn't take the lower high because I was already in the trade. So, here, let me see. I think I posted a screenshot of this one. Let me see. In the school community. Right? Where was it? Over here? Oh. Here it is. Yeah, so you can see when I entered this one, I entered it one tick below that signal bar. Get stopped in. I had my order 5 ticks. So I was going for a 5-tick scalp because of the ATR at the time. You can see it up there. Was telling me with my indicator to go for 5 ticks on my scalp. So that's what I went for. And then I left a runner near the lows, which ended up not getting filled. So I ended up just getting the scalp for 80% of the position. Decent setup overall. And basically, I had to sit in this one for a little while because it came down. It stopped me in. Then the lower high formed. And then eventually it did fill me down here. But then it came back and stopped out my runner. So that's okay. If you took the lower high, that was a good setup too. I like that one. It was close to being a yellow just because we were... But I thought because this one didn't touch those lows, we're probably going to come down there. And that's what we ended up doing. So overall, that's pretty much what I see. There's not a lot of setups yet. There might be some more that form, but we've been seeing this with the holidays. Like, it's probably going to drop here. I'm going to trade tomorrow too. Tomorrow I will have the live stream in school. So if anybody wants to learn about school, it's right here. It's in the chat. It's in the description. It's $99 a month for my membership, but it has a free 7-day trial. So you can try it all out. Everything's in here. I have these daily threads like this one where before we go live, we have this whole thread. It's charting all the price action, talking about everything. You get access to all the tools. And the calendar's here. So let me go to the calendar. So you can see I'm not going to be trading on Wednesday and Thursday with the holiday. I will be trading tomorrow and doing the live call in school. I will be streaming and trading on Friday. And then next week, next week will be just back to normal schedule. And you can see it all here in school. And so everyone check that out. Classroom is open. When you join, you get access to a bunch of this stuff. The price action course is for full members. Very comprehensive. And everything's in here. I'm actually going to be building a new course in here soon for the members. That's going to be way more in-depth than the trading psychology course. So stay tuned for that. This is just a sneak peek of me announcing it. So there will be a new course in there that's going to be for paid members or people, you know, for the paid members. And it will be very, very comprehensive setup. what it's going to be, it's probably, the way I'm going to do it is, what I'm thinking of doing here is rolling it out as just part of the price action trading course. I was thinking about making it a new section in the price action trading course, or I might make it as a new course. I haven't decided yet, but it's going to be very specifically much more in-depth than the psychology portion, and it's going to be, yeah, way more interesting. If anybody's ever heard of NLP, it's going to be about NLP for trading. Neuro-linguistic programming, which I think is much more effective than standard trading psychology stuff. So I'm going to have that coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. I'm going to be working on that in the new year. So that'll roll out sometime in January. Really looking forward to it. I've been doing some work with people outside of the school community. Been doing some work with people to get things ready for this, and it's going to be pretty cool. So I'm really looking forward to it. All right, so I moved this down just in case. That just looks ridiculous now. I just don't think. I mean, this is maybe a failed break. I'm going to leave it where it was. Anybody got any questions? If you do, drop them in the chat. We might end up having a shorter stream today if it's going to be slow. Not a lot of people around. What does everybody think of that new lamp? Let me make it big for a second. Got the new lamp here. Gift from my partner. Really cool lamp. So I got that going on in the background. I think it looks sweet. So, pretty dope. All right, let's see. Hopefully everyone has plans for New Year's and stuff. I'm going to the Oregon coast, so I'm looking forward to that. Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta check something real quick. Hang on 1 second here. Apologize. I just gotta check something. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll be on the coast for a couple days, so I'm looking forward to just some ocean time. It's always nice. How'd everybody do today? It was a pretty tough day to trade. There really isn't much setup, so you have to be very, very patient. Just kind of sit tight. There's not a lot of bars overall. Printing pretty slow. Let's see how many bars we got from the overnight. Not much. I mean, we don't even have 200 bars yet, so that's a really slow day. So you just kind of, you know, these are going to happen. You're going to have days like this where it's just super slow, and it's fine. No big deal. Now, let me change the... I want to change the music, actually. Give me a second here. Let's get one of my other tracks. Here, let's go with this one. This is my music. There's your boy. So if anybody wants to ever listen to my music, it's just on my name. You can look me up under Nick Bannock Music on YouTube. Oh, I meant to be on the About page. My bad. School communities here. I did a new video on here to make this a little bit more straightforward. So you can check that out. There's some other stuff in there. Everything is here. If you got questions about the school community, go ahead and drop them in. The other thing you could always do is you could always join on the trial and, you know, see what's all around. But if you want me to answer questions, feel free to ask, and I'm happy to answer those as well. Yeah, slow price action. We keep getting these little grindy down channels, which I kind of expected us to break through the bottom here, but it's pretty slow. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure, Misha. You know, I really do need to redo that video at some point because you probably noticed that video, something got messed up with my microphone and I didn't realize it, so it sounds like I'm talking out of a megaphone that whole video. But I left it because it was really valuable. I thought it was a really valuable lesson, and it just shows me figuring out how to set something up as I go. I literally discovered it on that call, how to do it. I could make a shorter version of it, but I still think it's a good one, so I just left it. I'm like, whatever. It was kind of a cool video, and I thought it was good. So yeah, I'm glad that you like it. One word of caution. If you are trading the MES on the ES chart, you do want to be careful because sometimes they can be off of each other by like 1 tick or whatnot. So one thing that I always suggest to people is if you're trading the MES on an ES chart, it's a good idea to also have an MES tab open, like an MES chart on its own, just like a tab open. Maybe set it to like a 1,000 tick chart or something along those lines. You could even have it on 2,000 tick. It doesn't really matter, but it's a good idea to have it open so that as you're trading on it, you can like reference over to it and make sure it didn't fill you somewhere weird. Because what can happen is, for example, let's say you were going short here, right? Let's just say you were going short right here. And your stop loss goes 1 tick above the bar. I'm not saying this is a good short. Here, you know what? Let's use actual trade. Let's use an actual trade example. Let's say you took this trade right here. What can happen sometimes is your stop loss could be placed right here, but maybe on the MES chart, it went actually 1 tick higher. And your stop loss actually needs to go 1 tick higher than that. Because you still need to be where you're supposed to go. So on the MES chart, you want your stop loss to go 1 tick above or below the bar. So if on the MES the bar actually ticked 1 tick up, your stop loss needs to go 1 tick higher. So hopefully that makes sense. And same thing with your TPs, like you might get filled in like 1 tick worse position. You just want to be aware of that for your scalping. So just be aware of that. There can be some very slight variation from time to time between the MES and the ES. It's not super common, but it's usually just like 1 tick difference here and there. But I just wanted to make sure that I call that out because I've heard a couple of times I had members in the school community say, "Hey, I actually got stopped out on the MES because my stop loss was on the low of the bar instead of 1 tick below it because of the variation. And if they would have had their stop loss 1 tick below that, they would have actually stayed in the trade and had a winner." And that actually happened a couple of times to people. So it's not common, but occasionally you will see that. So it's always a good idea to still have an MES tab open so you can just quickly check on it. You know, after you enter the trade, just go over there, make sure that everything is good. And if you want, if we could talk further about it on the Zoom call tomorrow if necessary. And by the way, welcome. Glad to have you in the community. All right. If you got questions, drop them in the chat. I got to check something out real quick over here. What? All right. Not much happening now. Price action's getting real slow again. Anybody have any questions? Because I'm probably just going to wrap up the stream here. It's just kind of a slow day. It's end of the year vibes. So no point of hanging around if it's going to be super slow. I got to check something on my other screen. Okay. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here today. I think I'm just going to wrap up here, everybody. I don't see any other questions coming in. There's not much else to cover. I mean, it's a really slow day. Not a lot of trades. Slow price action. End of the year. Tomorrow might even be slower, but there is an FOMC meeting tomorrow. Don't trade during that, of course. That might do something. Let me look real quick and see if there's anything else going on this week. We got FOMC tomorrow afternoon. I won't be trading during that. I'll be done by then. There is some news on. There's some news in the morning on New Year's Eve. There's actually some news dropping on Friday. It's nothing crazy, just PMI, S&P manufacturing PMI, nothing that big. It looks like more stuff next week, but nothing that crazy. So it should be pretty chill. All right, how does MES follow? Yeah, good question, Misha. It's the same thing. To be honest, like, I'm not the most well-versed with the micros because when I started trading the futures market, micros didn't exist. So we only had the minis. We only had the ES and like NQ and crude oil. We didn't have the mini version of the contracts. It didn't exist. So it came out later and I never really messed with it too much. So I don't know a lot about like how or why it exactly ties together, but the idea is that it's 1/10 the size for the contract. And so it's based on the actual contract trading. So the MES is based on the ES and all that. It's this exact same index that's being traded. So it makes sense that they would be basically around the same level. Same with NQ and MNQ or crude oil and the micro version of that. So yeah, I don't have an exact answer because I'm not like an expert in that. But I can tell you that they're based on the exact same assets. It's just that one of them is 1/10 the size of the contract. That's all. Same index. It's kind of the same way as like how ES and SPY and MES and SPX, it's all basically the same thing. It's all the S&P 500. So they're all going to move almost identically. Doesn't mean, though, that there can't be some very slight nuance in a tick or two going further or whatever because of just, you know, the way the price gets pushed or whatever. You see that more on MNQ and NQ because a lot of people just trade MNQ instead of NQ. And you see that one push sometimes a little further than NQ or whatever. But I think it's because there's a high volume traded on that. But the MES has lower volume than the ES. Slightly, you know, not a ton, but it does have lower volume. Hopefully that helps. I know it's not probably the best answer, but yeah. Any other questions? All right, fam. Well, you know what? I think we're going to call it. I'm going to wait like 15 more seconds just in case a question pops in, because I know that YouTube lags a little bit. And then I'm going to wrap it up. Do have a first entry short here, close outside. But I'm not looking to go short right here after just breaking through these lows. It is still looking overall bearish, but you know, it's just not great. I'm gonna take my single trade today and call it good. All right, everybody. So after this, I'll get the YouTube stream set up for Friday. Everybody else, I will see you tomorrow. Everyone in the school community, I'll see you tomorrow. And then everyone else, I will see you everyone on YouTube that's not in the school community, I'll see you on Friday. Now's a good time to join the school community if you're thinking about it. There's a bunch of new updates in there with the courses and materials and everything, so I think you'll like it. And we got some new stuff in the works, like I said, that I'm going to be releasing in January. Probably mid to late January. I'd say late January, most likely. But anyway, looking forward to seeing you all soon, and hope you have a great rest of the day. Happy New Year.